Planning your next post-COVID vacation? Be prepared with the help and expert advice of the Travel Guys.
Hello and welcome to the Travel Guys, our weekly travel show with what's happening and what's new in the wonderful world of travel. I'm delighted today to welcome our guests from Wellington, and with us today we have Sandy Savage and Lynette Logan from Travel by Design in Wellington. And first I'm going to talk to Lynette. Hi Lynette, and welcome to the show.
Hi Mike, and thank you for having us.
Pleasure. Before we start, Lynette, it's almost a rhetorical question, but COVID must have been a heck of a time for you guys. It's affected you badly, no doubt?
The last 12 months has been really tough. We've spent the whole year dealing with refunds and credits and paying back all our commissions.
Yeah.
So it has been, and you know, to be honest, we're still doing it.
I know. I've just seen in the paper this morning, Air New Zealand are looking at further extending their refunds and credits.
Yeah.
But it must have been very tough. And what I've tried to say to people is, it's so tough for you guys as travel agents. You get a commission on your first transaction, then shock horror, you've got to cancel everything.
Yep.
Then you've got to rebook everything. So you're doing 3 times the work for the one amount.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not been any fun.
I can surely imagine.
Our major focus was looking after our clients.
Yeah.
And making sure that they were reimbursed, looked after, and not too badly out of pocket. And that's been our focus all the way along. And we're very, very lucky. We've been able to do that 100%.
Now the name Travel by Design, how long have you guys been going?
We started Travel by Design 11 years ago.
Okay.
Just the two of us, and there's always been just the two of us. That's the way we like it. We have full control, and we set up Travel by Design when we joined New Zealand Travel Brokers as brokers. Our aim was to treat clients the way we wanted to be treated as travellers, because that is our main focus, is we love to travel. And so we wanted to make sure that our clients were getting exactly what we would have wanted out of a travel agent.
Lynette, you mentioned there's only two of you in the company, you and Sandy. Do you both do exactly the same thing, or do you differentiate between?
We do. We both look after clients, but we have our separate clients.
Okay.
So we both go out and network and find our clients, and then we both service them.
So I'll just mention again for viewers that being a travel broker it's slightly different from being a travel consultant per se. A broker is somebody often works from home. You work from home?
Absolutely.
So you go calling on your clients rather than having to come to you?
We love to go and meet them for a coffee and get to know them, find out all about them, and then we can pretty much design a trip to suit the clients. Right.
And I notice again with the group, you've got the word virtuoso there. Now, I've heard a little bit about in fact, I know a bit about virtuoso, but for the benefit of the viewers, what does in virtuoso as part of your company name entail?
Sandy and I are lucky enough to have been invited to join Virtuoso. It is a luxury brand, and it gives our clients that little bit extra.
I think the most important thing there is it's by invitation only.
Absolutely,
There's not that many agents in New Zealand have received that invitation.
No,
so
we are lucky, and you know we took the opportunity to grab it with both hands and to learn about the Virtuoso brand, and it's
well, I think
paying
from memory, there's only a handful, and so congratulations to you guys for getting that. Now, I thought what we might do today is talk about some of the trips that you guys have organised around the country. And I know you're going to be talking about one of them, and Sandy will be talking to her later about another one as well. But the first one, which I really like, is this doubtful stone package that you guys have put together. Yeah,
Fiordland's a most exquisite place, and this package that we have is 4 days, and it's the beauty of this package is it's the best of both worlds. It's organised tour of a cruise, overnight cruise in Doubtful Sound, but also you get the benefit of doing your own thing with self-drive. So we have a hire car for people. They take themselves from Queenstown back to Queenstown, but it's all organised along the way, where their accommodation is looked after in Te Anau and Milford, and there's lots of things that can be organised for them, or as little as much as they want.
So it's an individual package. It's not a group tour per se. Independent tour. That's what it's getting at.
Yeah.
And it starts in Queenstown, finishes in Queenstown.
That's right. Yeah.
And so it includes the rental car.
Yeah.
Yep. And that takes them through. So just to
their accommodation.
Yep. Which
breakfast.
Is accommodation. Just to give the accommodation is where in Queenstown for how many nights, and then
1 night either side.
Yep.
Of 1 night going down, 1 night coming back. There's accommodation in Te Anau, and there's the overnight on the cruise ship, which is Fiordland Navigator. It's fabulous.
Okay,
yeah.
Actually my sister did that.
And that's a breathtaking trip. In fact, Sandy and I did the trip not on Navigator but on another cruise ship, and we went into Doubtful Sound, and it's very, very tranquil and very beautiful, and the entire cruise ship was out on the deck as we went into the Sound. And there are a lot of Americans on board, and they're usually very chatty and noisy. On this occasion there was absolute silence.
Wow.
The breathtaking views of nature were just outstanding.
How fantastic.
Waterfalls, and then they have a nature expert on board the ship, and they tell you about what's happening around. They name all the waterfalls, they tell you about the different parts of nature, but also what's coming up, like dolphins on the right and seals on the left and penguins up ahead. And
you do see the wildlife like that
it's
too?
Amazing.
Oh gosh.
So we wanted to just promote that to New Zealanders,
right,
where you would be doing that trip with New Zealanders, but you get the benefit of doing your own thing if you want to, and then going on board the ship and experiencing New Zealand with New Zealanders, and it's pretty special.
It goes throughout the year? Or is it just in
the one we're looking at is October.
Okay.
Couple of opportunities in
October.
So but it does go throughout the year.
Right.
Yeah. But we can, tailor make it to suit our clients.
Of course. So they get 3 or 4 nights accommodation, did you say?
Yeah.
4 nights accommodation, rental cars, the cruise, some meals.
That's right.
Yep.
And another special dinner on the top of the Skyline restaurant in Queenstown.
And the price, may I ask?
Well, it depends on what everybody wants, but it's around
course.
2,500 per person.
Okay.
So it's pretty good.
That trip sounds wonderful. I'd love to do it myself. What sort of feedback are you getting from some of these tours?
Our clients just come back absolutely amazed that is what we have here in New Zealand.
Yeah.
And they come back and they say, it's all about our beautiful nature. It's our country, and it's a fabulous place to travel around. We've got the wildlife, we've got the amazing waterfalls that you can see anywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
But they can't believe that it is just so spectacular and a restful experience.
I think we're all a bit naughty, self
Yes,
included, not
totally.
seeing enough of my country.
Yeah.
And so many people in the travel business have been involved in the industry, and of course you do get your perks, and off to Fiji or Samoa or Tonga or Hong Kong, and then suddenly you backtrack and think, whoa, this is my country.
Yeah,
and when you go somewhere you think, gosh, I give yourself a good. As I said, I mentioned my sister. My sister Prue's done heaps of travel around New Zealand. She always gives me a clip around the ears. She says, Michael, get out there and see more of your country.
I think all of us as travel agents are guilty of that, because we always take a chance to zip away overseas whenever we can, but we forget what we've got on our doorstep, and it is pretty spectacular.
It certainly is. It certainly is. Well, thanks for that, Annette. I think we'll just be talking. We'll talk to Sandy in a minute about your Northland trip, which I find really interesting myself. Now, you've been talking about the very southern parts of New Zealand. We're now going to talk to Sandy about your great trip going to the north parts of New Zealand.
Absolutely, sounds great.
Okay, welcome back to the Travel Guys, and we're talking to the two owners of Travel by Design, Wellington-based, and we've been speaking to Lynette about the southern part of their trip to the southern part of New Zealand. We're now going to talk to Sandy about their trip to Northland. Welcome, Sandy.
Hi, Mark. Thanks very much for having us on the show
today. Nice to have you here. Now, who's the boss? Come on, between the two of you.
We share.
Okay. So there's no one's more equal than the other one.
No, we're pretty good.
Well, you've been together for 10 years, and somebody told me that the average partnership in New Zealand lasts less than 15 months. So I think you guys have done a really good job.
We've done pretty well, yes.
Good on you. Yeah. So tell me about this Northland trip that you guys have put together.
Well, the Northland trip was, it's 5 nights, 6 days around Northland, and it covers all those areas that a lot of New Zealanders say they would love to go to, but they just never get round to. So it goes up.
You're talking to one here. Carry on.
Goes up one half of the North Island up to Cape Reinga, and then comes back down.
Starting from?
Auckland.
Okay.
So it starts and finishes in Auckland. It's a guided tour, so a little bit different to the South Island one. So this is a fully guided tour. They have a minimum of 6 people and a maximum of 18. And the company that organises this, or the package that we're doing it through, the travel guides are actually used to international tourists, so they're top quality travel guides. Yeah. We've just had a client that's come back from this trip, and she just said it was fantastic. The guide was amazing. She said he had an incredible sense of humour. Everybody on the tour had a fabulous time, and you're staying basically one day in each place, but it takes you right up through the top of Northland. You go to Cape Reinga, and then when you come back down the other side of Northland, you go to the Kauri Museum, which is, if you haven't been there, you have. Look, if you haven't been there, you absolutely have to go.
I agree.
And you can always extend, do a couple of days extra in Auckland on your return. If you're coming from somewhere outside of Auckland, say for example Wellington, you can always do the train up to Auckland, fly back. There's lots of options. Yeah. So we can tailor-make that package to suit our clients. But if you haven't done that, you absolutely should. It's a must-do.
And what departures do you have? Is there set departures?
Yes, there are set departures, and they do go throughout the year. So they're sort of about every fortnight.
The Winterless North, of course.
Winterless North is exactly, yes. Yeah. No, it's and your breakfasts and meals are included. So it is definitely, it's good value for money. Okay. It's about $1,800 per person. Okay. And if you're a single traveller and you like to have your own space, then there's a facility to do that too.
Which is important for some people.
Yeah. You know, some people like to have company during the day, but they like their own space at night.
Yeah. I think I should stress to viewers that it's really important to stress that people like Lynette, and you've just had a really tough time, 12 months, and people have said, oh, people don't book domestic travel through travel agents. Well, they do. And when people get off their backsides, like you guys have said, right, we've got to do something. And what you've done, I so admire it. You've put together a really good product. It's new to you, relatively new to you, to selling New Zealand, because you didn't have to in the past. You've got the world to sell. And it's really good to see this positive action. And I really hope that these tours become very successful. Well, they are already being really successful for you. So well done, you.
Oh, no, thank you.
That's all right. And I went to another one too you've done. So tell me about the WOW package you do in Wellington.
Thank goodness WOW's back on again. If you're a WOW supporter, Wearable Arts, like myself, I think we've only missed 2 years out of the 20 odd it's been going. An absolutely fantastic show, and one of the things that we like to organise is ladies' weekends away. That's one of the things that we do, and this is perfect for ladies' weekends. Not to say it's just for women.
I was going to say a bloke
could go to, but honestly, the ladies love to get together. It's 2 nights in Wellington at one of the hotels. It's a package deal. You get breakfast included, tickets to the show, and so it's quite a small package, but ideal for those groups of people that might want to go away just for 3 or 4 days, to squeeze in something like that. And again, it can be extended. We can organise flights for it. So this package is just the accommodation and the show tickets, but we can add on to that. We can get people from all over New Zealand to do that and put put it together as a package for them.
I should know, but when's it on again?
It goes from September through to October, so it's 3 weeks.
3 weeks, okay.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Selling fast, so.
Is it really?
It is, yes.
Oh,
It's very, very popular.
Yeah. And so we've covered the New Zealand packages you do. Obviously, Australia's just opened. There'll be people you guys, you book anybody to anywhere in terms of travel around the world?
Yes, yeah.
It's really important.
Yeah, and one of the things we're getting inquiry about at the moment is people that are needing to travel outside of New Zealand for family reasons. If they need to go to the UK, somewhere like that, because they have to go and see family, it's really important that they talk to somebody that knows how to do this, because it's an absolute minefield out there at the moment.
I was just going to say that in terms of what you guys have to do and how people must be made aware of so many pitfalls,
yeah, absolutely.
It's really important to talk to your travel professional. Now, in terms of, if I can just step backwards to some of the stuff you must have been doing over the last 12 months, have you had any really tough jobs to get somebody or some people money back for people? Is there one that particularly stands in mind?
There is. We had one client that left to go home to the UK to see family. They were meant to be away for 3 weeks, and they'd only literally just arrived in the UK when everything fell apart. So they needed to come home, and there were flights being cancelled around them left, right and centre. It took me 5 weeks to get them home, 3 lots of flights and a huge amount of money. They just had to keep buying new tickets, because by the time we'd cancelled them, to get their refunds took weeks. So we got them home, which was great, and we got their money back for them eventually.
How much?
It took a while. It was about 21,000 altogether. They ended up borrowing off their parents, and then we had another family from Auckland that needed to get back to Austria, and that again was a major issue. The borders were closing around, and then there was all sorts of different requirements with visas and COVID testing, so that took probably 3 or 4 weeks to get them home. But we managed it. I mean, it's quite stressful, but you get there.
I must admit,
in the end.
I'm sure you'll appreciate this. I spoke to a travel agent not long after when everything was really rife in the middle of the lockdown in May or June last year, and I was asking her a question about some trips I was helping her out with. And I asked her a question, do you still intend to travel when all this is over? And with an expletive deleted, she said, very much I will be travelling.
Absolutely.
But then she said that she was sitting at her desk, literally with her head in her hands, running what she was going to do for everybody. And she heard a noise, and she looked up, and an older couple had come in, and she said, can I help you? And they said, no, we know the pressure you're under. We've come in to see if we can do anything to help you.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And she said, I just burst into tears. She said, they're bawling her eyes out for 10 minutes. And I'm sure you can relate.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, we can
that.
definitely relate to that. Yes.
So on that, can I stress this? I think every week I talk about this, Sandy, and that is travel insurance. Just it's so important.
It is.
I've heard and it's so important that people read the policies. And to me, the one, even the COVID related, is of course terribly important now, but the one that seems to bite people badly, is pre-existing conditions. And I've heard of not professional travel agents in the past saying, oh, I'll fill that out for you, Mrs. Jones, who's in her 80s.
Yeah.
No.
No.
But do you have a process you take people through with travel insurance?
We do. We do quite a lot of training on travel insurance. So basically I see our role as providing the facility for people to choose their policies. So we really encourage people to have travel insurance, and it's not just for COVID, it's for anything. I mean, if you tripped and fell putting your bags in the car on your way to your trip, you're actually covered if you've got travel insurance. There's all sorts of things that, lost baggage, time delays, all those sorts of things. So it is hugely important to have travel insurance, and the biggest recommendation we can give people is to make sure they include everything on their pre-existing conditions, doesn't matter whether they think it's important or not, and to ask questions.
Yeah. And talk to the insurance company.
Absolutely, yes, definitely.
That really is something that I think is so important. I can't believe it. Now, I think we've got a few minutes left. I'm just going to say this. I think this will make you smile. I saw on the paper recently the 10 most annoying words in travel. And you're selling product that you have to be quite happy that the words match up. But some of the ones here, free. Now, there's always a catch.
Never anything
There's
free.
nothing free. Exactly. There's no such thing as a free lunch. Must see. Well, says who? I mean, that's somebody's opinion. Hidden gem. Well, if it's hidden, I mean, why are you promoting it, and why are the photos there? I love that you can see a picture of Machu Picchu. It always shows 3 people there. The reality, of course, there's thousands of people swarming it. Authentic. What exactly does authentic mean? Well, you could say there's an authentic desk, really. Luxury, well, enough said. That is the most abused word that exists in the travel business. Meaningless, really. Off the beaten track. If it's really off the beaten track again, why are we promoting it now? Eco-friendly, that's a very moot point. Pristine. I mean, all these words, they're so emotive words, but they don't really reflect what the person's actually going to find. And the other one I like is quirky. What does that mean?
I'd be scared of
Exactly. That's a terrible one-star hotel 10 blocks back from the beach. Yeah. So I did like those. Do you have what's the profile of the clients that you deal with? Can you describe a particular profile, or is it across the board?
Yeah, well, the majority of our clients would be aged between, say, 30 and 70, and they are like us, they love travel. And they're the sort of people that like to have things organised. So they like a little bit of freedom. Quite a lot of them are independent travellers, so they know what they want. They know how they want to travel, but they're time poor.
Yep.
And they're very happy for us to take over and sort it all for them. You know, I think there's a lot of people out there that like to do their own research. They like to have control over their travel, but that takes a huge amount of time. And the beauty of what we do is that they can give us all their wish list, and we can just make it happen for them.
And you can take clients from anywhere around New Zealand too, because you work from home.
We can.
You do.
And it's one thing, if I can get a message across to people, it's treat New Zealand travel as if it's your international trip.
Yeah.
Because you can plan it and it will go really smoothly, and there's so many things out there that you may not know about. You might not see it on the internet, but they're things that we know from our clients that are worth doing.
I think you'll appreciate this. Two guys, friends of mine at my golf club, travel a lot. They're both retired and both comfortably off. One spends hours on the internet getting the best possible deal wherever he's going. He'll research for hours and hours. And the other friend goes to his travel agent and says, "Where am I going this year?"
Yeah.
And they just leaves it entirely to his travel agent to organise. He knows what he wants, he knows what his likes are, and what the couple are. And I just think that's so funny. And I'm with the latter one any day of the week. Sandy, I guess like with most travel agents, the great majority of business would be international to anywhere in the world. And the domestic New Zealand tour is relatively new because of COVID, of course.
It has been, yes. I'd be probably 99% of our travel clients were travelling overseas pre-COVID.
Yeah.
And because that stopped almost overnight, then we needed to look at the other options, and travelling around New Zealand doing domestic travel is what we needed to do to keep the company going.
Good on you.
We're really looking forward to the opportunity to be able to send people further away. It's going to be a wee while away, so domestic I think is going to be popular for a long time. And so. Australia and the islands definitely. So it's great for us to have been able to add that string to our bow.
Can I just remind again the contact details, which will be coming up on screen. For Lynette, it's 027 248 3537. Sandy, 027 252 0392. And the website is travelbydesign.co.nz. Thanks again for coming up, guys.
Thank you very much for having us.
It's been great to have you with us. Thank you.
Thanks.
Cheers.